Miraculous ladybug. That's it. If you're at all familiar with Miraculous, then you're probably also familiar with its main characters and the absolutely tragic, abysmal state of the show in the past few years. I used to be a really big fan of the show, but I started to fall off of it around the end of middle school, and now it's been about 6 years since then. I often ask you guys for suggestions on my redesigns since I want to make the content that you guys like, and Miraculous Ladybug is a very popular request. I have a pretty big confession though. I absolutely refuse to redesign Marinette. I hate Marinette and Ladybug. If Marinette has no haters, then I'm dead. But that serves as a problem, right? How can I redesign the characters of a show if I refuse to even touch the main character? Well, it's simple. We give Miraculous Ladybug a new Ladybug. And you may be thinking to yourself, Lucky, you can't do that. You can't just take Marinette out of the show. Yes, I can. I'm doing it right now. If that makes you upset, there's the door. Anyways, I definitely will talk about Marinette in this video, but we have other matters to attend to. But first, I want to talk to you about this video's sponsor, Life Makeover. Life Makeover is a gorgeous mobile dress-up game with tons of in-depth customization for you to use to design your own super cute girl. There's so many different options and features, and I was really impressed with the amount of freedom that you're given. Outside of the character customization, there's even a fully voice-acted story mode if that's more your style. Build outfits to earn ratings to complete quests and progress through the story. As someone who was way too into dress-up games as a kid, Life Makeover felt like the game I've been waiting for since elementary school. Not only are there thousands of outfit combinations, but there's even the option to design your own garments if you're feeling fancy. And you can even customize and decorate your own house with thousands of furniture options for you to choose from. In honor of Life Makeover's first anniversary on May 10th, they asked me to draw 3 of their players in this version's newest outfits: Deity Dream, Storyteller, and Stack 1. My favorite was Deity Dream, not just because I'm a sucker for anything blue, but all of the gorgeous details and intricacies of the dress and the mask made for such an amazing design. In addition to their anniversary, this newest version introduces pets. Your pets are just as customizable as your girls, even down to the color of their toe pads, allowing you to create your perfect companion. Thank you once again to Life Makeover for sponsoring this video. If you want to try out Life Makeover for free, make sure to click the link in the description to give it a try. The anniversary event is this weekend, so make sure you check it out so you don't miss the chance to get this version's newest outfits, Storyteller and Stack 1. I've been sponsorship lucky, and now back to the video. So truthfully, I've had the OC that I'm drawing in this video for about 6 or 7 years now, since the middle of middle school. She wasn't originally created to be a Marinette replacement. She actually didn't originally have a Miraculous at all. She was just the little sister of another OC that I have. If you've watched my videos before, specifically my sketchbook tour, I've actually shown you guys this character before. Her name is Jamie Megatron. That's her real name. And most of you may be like, what are you talking about? Her last name is Megatron? This video is a joke, okay? Well, it's not a joke, but this is a lighthearted video, okay? So it's not that serious. It's not that serious, guys. So yes, this is Jamie Megatron. Naturally, with replacing the protagonist of the show comes rewrites. So now they're in high school. I'd say they're in their junior, sophomore year. And so I decided to make Jamie 16 just because the original age range of 13 to 14, I don't particularly care for 13 to 14-year-olds. I mean writing 13 to 14-year-olds. I don't hate actual 13 to 14-year-olds, but it's easier for me to write 16-year-olds as I was a 16-year-old fairly recently. So Miraculous Ladybug's protagonist is supposed to be a normal girl with a normal life, right? So how is Jamie normal, and what's her normal life like? Jamie goes to the same school that Marinette and Adrian do in the show, except now I guess it's a high school instead of a middle school. Don't try and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, because I don't care. This doesn't have any real impact on the story, but in this, I guess I'll call it an AU, I changed the setting from Paris to a fictional city called New Paris, which is a combination of New York and Paris. So there's still the Parisian landmarks. I just don't have to use, I think it's euros they use in France. I'm sorry guys, I am a stinky American. But anyways, Jamie is 16, she's a sophomore in high school, she just started at Francois Dupont, I think is how you say it. I believe the beginning of the series is the beginning of the school year anyway, which is why Adrian starts to go to the school, so Jamie also just transferred there. The one singular thing I do like about Marinette is her thing, right? Her passion, which is fashion design, and I think that's really interesting to see in a main character, if that makes sense. Like, in My Little Pony, for example, Rarity is the fashion designer, right? And I love Rarity so much, but she's got kind of the stereotypical, like, snooty personality that you would see out of a fashion designer fictional character in most of these series, right? But Marinette is, like, fun and bubbly, and also just happens to be a fashion designer, and in universe she's good at it too. And it's always easier to connect to a character when they have a passion. It doesn't even have to be a passion that's similar to yours. And Jamie's passion is ballet. She does ballet, she's done it her whole entire life. She actually did it with her older sister. Jamie has 2 older siblings, a brother and a sister, and I guess I'll talk more about them in a little bit. But I think I should probably talk about why I dislike Marinette so much, because this is a replacing Marinette video. I think there are tons of super talented artists who have made Marinette redesigns and rewrites, and they're all great. I love them all, and I think that they're amazing and would do a much better job in the story than Marinette's current character would. I am not one of those artists, though. I can save a design. I'm not what is it called? A necromancer? I'm not a necromancer. And while I definitely could probably redesign and make a design that I'm happy with, that you guys enjoy, I've never seen anybody just straight up replace Marinette before, and I think that that's interesting. This is probably going to be a controversial video because I do understand that people like Marinette, and I used to really like Marinette too. This is not me saying that I think that my OC that I made in middle school is better than Marinette, except it kind of is. But this is not me trying to assert dominance over all the Marinette fans and the writers of Miraculous Ladybug. This is me drawing my OC and then having enough content to turn it into a video. And y'all asked for Miraculous Ladybug, and I'm talking about Miraculous Ladybug, so here's the Miraculous Ladybug video. There are so many videos on why Marinette is just, overall, maybe not a bad character, but not a great one. Writing-wise and personality-wise, Marinette is just strange. Not that there's anything wrong with being weird, but she's like weird. And I'm just not the biggest fan of like the quirky, I'm not like other girls, I'm so interesting and exciting and fun type characters. And honestly, I'm an adult now. I watched the show when I was in middle school. Marinette just gets on my nerves, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree that Miraculous Ladybug deserved a more mature protagonist in the personality sense, not in the age sense. I think that having them be 13 to 14 is fine. It's just not my preference, but it's fine. I mean mature in the takes itself seriously sense. In addition to being the protagonist, Marinette is also the primary comic relief. And after however many episodes that Miraculous Ladybug has, that gets frankly annoying. And so Jamie is here to solve all of my problems specifically. Anyways, I've been talking about Marinette this whole time when I should have been talking about Jamie. So Jamie's whole backstory is that she has 2 older siblings, a brother and her sister is actually dead. All 3 of them are orphans, and her oldest sister was taking care of her, and then she died. I imagine she died about 5 years before the start of the story, so Jamie would have been 11, and her older brother, his name is Pitt, he would have been about 19. So he's technically an adult, but he's not at all well equipped to take care of an 11-year-old. So Jamie ends up being taken care of by a friend of her aunt. They're not related, but they're very close. And that's her foster family, right? And they're all well and good, right? Her parents, their names are Ash and Mike. They love her. They're all a big happy family, except for Pitt, her brother. That's where most of her character conflict will probably come from, is her relationship or lack thereof with her brother. Because I can't think of a time specifically when it's been a sibling who's either moved out or like aged out of the foster care system or something, and that's who the main conflict of the story revolves around in terms of the main character. Because we have older siblings in media, right? The closest example I can think of is Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but Jamie was very close to her sister, and Pitt is the closest thing she has left, but Pitt isn't around. So Jamie has to learn how to make amends with her brother, as well as manage being Ladybug, or in this AU, her name is Ladybird. I realize that's a British thing, I think, but it was the only other name I could come up with, and it just stuck. So just humor me, please. Jamie and Ladybird are probably more similar in personality than Marinette and Ladybug. They're both pretty reserved and soft, which is inconvenient for a superhero, but I also think it makes a nice contrast to Cat Noir, who's very loud and open. I hate the dynamic of Ladybug and Cat Noir in the show, where Ladybug is just more important than him in every way, so I'm gonna try and alleviate that in my rewrite. So for the early story at least, Ladybird and Cat Noir rely very heavily on each other. Ladybird is unconfident and unsure of herself, but is better at planning and strategizing, and Cat Noir is more confident and more sure of himself, but he doesn't know what he's doing. Jamie and Adrian have a lot more simple of a relationship than Marinette and Adrian do. They're best friends, and that's it. They bond over their mom/sister being dead. But in all seriousness, in my rewrite, they're best friends. I haven't decided if they're going to be anything more than that. I guess you'll just have to see. But they're both relatively isolated children who are new to the school, so they gravitate towards each other. The only difference between them is Adrian is incredibly popular as soon as he gets there, and Jamie is just not, but she's okay with that. And I think they wouldn't know from the beginning, but I do want them to know each other's identities, because I think it would strengthen their friendship, like in terms of writing. Like, I think it would just make their bond that much stronger, because it's really hard to portray characters as like inseparable best friends when they're keeping this big of a secret from each other, especially when it's so important to the show. So probably about a third of the way through what I would imagine would be the first season, they find out about each other's identities, and they're like, wow, my best friend is my best friend, that's crazy. And I also think that that would help strengthen the relationship of Ladybird and Cat Noir in the show as well. I actually just thought about this, but I haven't decided how they get their miraculouses, because I don't like Master Fu either. I'll probably just make a different character the Miracle Guardian, but that is food for thought for a different time. Jamie may not be a normal girl with a normal life, but in my opinion, she's more normal than Marinette. I think that's probably the main thing I was going for with her design. Not normal, but simple in a good way. She's got a lot going on with her family and being New Paris's main superhero. So as a civilian, she tries her best to keep it simple. It probably doesn't stay simple for very long, but she would like to think that she has a simple life outside of everything going on. She takes ballet classes, she plays the guitar, she hangs out with her friends. She only has 2 friends, which, me too, girl. Her Alia adjacent character, I say in quotation marks, is another OC of mine named Maggie. I probably won't talk about her very much in this video unless I mention her in the next section. She has a design, it's just not in this video. Maybe I'll put some sketches on the Patreon or something. I don't know, you should go subscribe. And after hearing all that, you may be asking yourself, Lucky, who gave you the authority to just replace Marinette? Isn't that kinda out there, you know? And I 100% agree. Making a video about why I would replace Marinette with one of my OCs is kinda out there. I think people rarely do this kind of thing in order to avoid being labeled as cringe or something like that, but I've already made a whole entire video on self-inserts, and y'all ate that up. And so I think being more open and honest and cringe in the YouTube art community is something that's been needed for a while. That, and I just wanted an excuse to talk about one of my OCs. And it's all in good fun too. Look, I'm not gonna go up to the ZAG headquarters and be like, hey, Marinette sucks. You need to get rid of every single episode and replace all of her appearances with my OC. Her name is Jamie Megatron. I'm not gonna do anything like that. This is just a video for YouTube. Anyways, here is Jamie Megatron, her finished design.
I'd love to see that elementary school you two went to. Let's do this again.
You may be thinking, next is Adrian, right? Cat Noir. Nope. I actually don't have a lot of problems with him other than, you know, minor nitpicks, and none of them are with his character design. So I didn't want to draw him for this video, which is supposed to be a redesign rewrite video. So I actually decided the next character that I would redesign would be Lila. Now that I'm thinking about it, especially the seasons that I watched, which was season 1, 2, and 3, Lila's a pretty minor character. She's basically just a Chloe 2, a character made just to piss Marinette off. But I saw her potential, guys. I knew that she could be so much more than just an occasional antagonist, because I really liked her design. I thought she was super interesting, and I loved Volpina's design. So in this rewrite, Lila pretty much takes the place of Chloe. Chloe doesn't serve a super big role in the story anymore, and that main antagonist spot is filled by Lila. Lila is the exact opposite of Jamie. She is the exact opposite of simple. She's rich, she's popular, she's beautiful, she's talented. Not things that Jamie is necessarily jealous of, but things that she acknowledges that she doesn't have. Not that Jamie isn't pretty. I love you, Jamie. XOXO. So Lila doesn't transfer to their school like she does in the original. I think she transfers in the middle of season 1 or season 2. And she's not even there every episode, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Does she just go to that school sometimes? But now Lila is in Jamie and Adrian's class. They see her every day. And I thought Lila being a pathological liar was so interesting, and then they just didn't do much with it. Just had her tell like white lies, like, oh, I have tinnitus, I can't hear. Like, what? Why? The main lies of hers that I found interesting were lies about, like, her status and, like, what she was doing when she was away from school, like, going all these places to make her seem more interesting than she actually was. And so I want to keep that. Lila is rich, but she's not as rich as she says she is. She is interesting, but she's not as interesting as she says she is. And she has this need to be that much better than everybody else because she knows that she's better. But she needs them to know that she's better too. So Lila lies and people believe her. She's not a bully in the traditional sense. She's not going out and shoving people into lockers and stealing their lunch money. But she does know how to make people feel less than with just her words so that she can elevate herself that much more. Those who like her love her, like her teachers, her close friends, and those who don't like her are just kind of not liking her just because she's a popular girl. And so because everybody is either wrapped around her finger or apathetic towards her, nobody really bothers to check her on her lies until Jamie gets to school. And Jamie falls more into the apathetic crowd. She doesn't really bother with Lila. That is until Jamie becomes friends with Adrian, who is the object of Lila's affection. And she does not like that. She sees Jamie as a huge threat to her popularity because Jamie is beautiful, Jamie is kind, Jamie is talented. All things that Lila just pretends to be, Jamie just is. So while Jamie thinks that Lila is better than her, Lila knows that Jamie is better than her. So Lila tries her absolute best to get under Jamie's skin and make her feel like less than she is so that maybe she stops hanging around Adrian. Because not that Lila thinks that Adrian has a thing for Jamie, which he does, but since Adrian is incredibly popular, Jamie being friends with Adrian makes Jamie known. She doesn't hang out with any of these people, but these people do know who she is. And Jamie is real, right? And Lila is fake. and she's afraid that everybody is going to choose Jamie over her, because why have something fake when you could have something real? But it's not working. Jamie isn't getting frustrated with Lila or doing anything like that, so Lila turns to Hawkmoth. And Hawkmoth says that the thing that Lila needs to be better than Jamie is to be a superhero. And so for some reason, Hawkmoth has the Fox Miraculous, the real Fox Miraculous, and gives it to her. And so Lila becomes Volpina. Volpina, I imagine, will be a reoccurring antagonist and not just like a one-off akumatization in one episode, because I really like Volpina. And she'll probably act as kind of an anti-hero to Ladybird and Cat Noir, like getting in their way, but not like actively trying to make them fail, like spurring on the people who have been akumatized in order to make them angrier with Ladybird and Cat Noir, and then pretending to help them so she can appear as a hero. I'll be honest and say that I haven't thought as much about Lila as I have with Jamie, but I do know that I want her to get a redemption arc, just because I think Volpina is too cool of a design to not have be one of the main designs. Rena Rouge is cool, but Volpina is just that girl. But sometime throughout the series, Jamie and Lila become actual friends. Friends is in quotation marks, guys. They become really close, and Lila joins Jamie's little group that she's got going on. Her, Adrian, Lila, and Maggie. The thing is, though, Hawkmoth knows that Volpina is Lila, right? He gave her the miraculous. But Lila doesn't want them to know that. They all think that she's just somebody who had a miraculous and just wanted to mess with them a little bit. So Lila has to hide from Jamie, who does know her identity. They know each other's identities. Jamie knows that Adrian is Cat Noir and Lila is Volpina. Jamie knows all of their identities, and they all know Jamie's identity, but they don't know each other's. So Lila doesn't know that Adrian is Cat Noir, Adrian doesn't know that Lila is Volpina, etc. But Jamie and Lila are like best friends now, like genuine best friends. And so Lila doesn't want to reveal to Jamie that Hawkmoth has something on them, that being Lila is Volpina, because Jamie is the first person to have taken the brunt of Lila's, you know, Lila-ness and still want to be her friend. And Lila really appreciates that. So Lila doesn't want to do anything to hurt Jamie. But somehow Hawkmoth finds out that Lila knows Ladybird's identity. He doesn't find out that Jamie is Ladybird, but he does find out that Lila knows who Ladybird is. And so one way or another, he uses that against them. There's probably like an Akuma or something, and Lila's akumatized, and then Ladybird and Volpina have to fight, and it's really cool. I didn't mean for this to happen, but there ended up being more of a focus on Ladybird and Volpina in this AU than Ladybird and Cat Noir, which is fine, I guess. It's not like I'm making this into an actual show or anything, because I couldn't legally. And so I just enjoy drawing Jamie and Lila more than I enjoy drawing Adrian. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, Lila also has an older sister who is not dead. She is alive. Her name is Vivian, or Vivi, and so I changed Lila's full name to Lillian. Lillian and Vivian, they kind of sound similar. So Lila is short for Lillian. So that's a point of maybe not conflict, but conflict between Lila and Jamie, is that Jamie lost her older sister and Lila still has hers. But Vivian is actually pretty bad, worse than Lila. She's also a main antagonist in this alternate universe, but I don't think I have time to talk about her. But I'll just say she's bad. She's really bad. I realize I didn't actually talk about my Lila redesign that much, but you have eyes, you can see what's going on screen. I just really like to talk, guys, okay? I don't know what you want from me. Volpina actually didn't change that much. I just changed her hair a little bit. I was fighting demons, guys, to keep that blunt cut, but I did because it's very iconic. But I changed it on Volpina. I thought the best way to make her look more mysterious was to cover one of her eyes, so I did. It also separates her further from Lila, but I didn't change much else, just changed the colors a little bit just to be more my personal preference and change the silhouette a little bit, but everything is mostly the same. Anyways, here is Lila and Volpina, I guess.
I swore I'd make your life unbearable. Let's see how you get out of this one.
I realize now that this is one of my longer videos consisting of just me talking for minutes on end. And I know this video is also kind of unconventional. You wouldn't normally see somebody making a video like this, but that's why I had to do it. I am the first of the generation, and it is really scary. I realize this video is definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but if you stuck around to the end, I really appreciate it. I hope that you like my ladybug replacement as much as I do. If you want to hear more about this AU, I probably won't make another video about it on my main channel, but I will probably talk about it on my Patreon. Exclusive videos are available for subscribers $7 and up, and I've already got several videos that are like 20-25 minutes long just talking about my OCs, so if that's something you're interested in, maybe go check that out. As always, thank you so much to my $10 patrons, Ellarista, Puntastic Artist, Little Wolfine, and Full Fledgy, as well as everybody else subscribed to my Patreon, and all of you who watch my videos. I have a really exciting announcement coming in the next few weeks, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Thank you again to Life Makeover for sponsoring this video. I don't think that there's anything else I have to say, so I have been Lucky Inkiio, and I will see you very soon.